Get ready to explore the fascinating world of the 1966 movie Torn Curtain. This classic film stars some of Hollywood's best actors. Who's your favorite? Keep watching to discover interesting facts about this famous movie. What makes this film special in the movie industry? Share your thoughts with us below. Do you have a favorite memory or experience with this movie? Share it with us. Let's uncover the secrets of Torn Curtain together. Torn Curtain, released in 1966 and directed by Alfred Hitchcock, brought a fresh perspective to Cold War espionage. The film had a mix of reviews initially, with some praising its suspenseful plot and strong performances, while others criticized its pacing and deviation from Hitchcock's usual style. Despite the varied reception, the movie had a lasting influence on popular culture. Its portrayal of espionage and betrayal affected later spy thrillers, shaping how filmmakers approached the genre for years. Torn Curtain also played a role in the popularity of Cold War narratives in cinema, reflecting the tensions of the time and adding depth to discussions on international politics. In the years after its release, Torn Curtain inspired spin-offs, including novels and television adaptations, broadening its impact. Collectibles and merchandise related to the film, like posters, became sought after among fans and collectors. While Torn Curtain didn't receive immediate acclaim, it undeniably left its mark on popular culture. Through its exploration of espionage and its lasting influence on spy thrillers, the movie has secured its place in cinematic history. Torn Curtain is a movie from 1966. Brian Moore was chosen to write the screenplay, but shooting began before Alfred Hitchcock was satisfied with the script due to limited availability of Julie Andrews. The opening credits list all 14 members of the cast, while the end credits only list 12 with character names. IMDb policy dictates the use of the opening cast list. Just before shooting began, Paul Newman had a severe motorcycle accident which nearly paralyzed his left hand. The collaboration between Sir Alfred Hitchcock and Paul Newman in Torn Curtain faced challenges. Newman, coming from a different acting era, questioned Hitchcock about the script and characterization, which Hitchcock found disrespectful. Newman, a method actor, sought character motivation from Hitchcock, who replied, "Your motivation is your salary." The expected chemistry between Newman and Dame Julie Andrews did not materialize on screen. Bernard Herrmann composed 9 cues for Torn Curtain before Hitchcock dismissed him. Only 3 cues, including Prelude, The Ship, and Radiogram, were released on disc from the original recording. Mort Mills, known for his role as the farmer in Torn Curtain, previously played the highway patrol officer in Hitchcock's Psycho. Julie Andrews landed the lead role in Torn Curtain after Tippi Hedren declined to work with Sir Alfred Hitchcock again. The cab driver role was portrayed by Peter Lorre Jr., who, despite sharing a similar name, was not related to the famed actor Peter Lorre. Lorre Jr., originally named Eugene Weingand, attempted to capitalize on the resemblance to Lorre, but was legally barred from doing so. Hitchcock intentionally included a challenging fight scene in the movie to depict the difficulty of killing someone, contrasting with the effortless killings often portrayed in spy thrillers of that era. Torn Curtain, released in 1966, underwent significant screenplay revisions due to Sir Alfred Hitchcock's dissatisfaction with Brian Moore's original script. Hitchcock enlisted Keith Waterhouse and Willis Hall to rewrite it, believing their contributions merited screen credit. However, Moore contested this, leading to a guild adjudication that granted him sole credit, much to Hitchcock's annoyance. Hitchcock's decision not to cast Paul Newman and Julie Andrews stemmed from their high fees. This choice set a precedent, as he never again hired performers with similar or higher fees throughout his career. In a scene featuring Dame Julie Andrews entering a bookstore, a poster for Den Permanent, a department store, is visible on the wall. This detail is significant as a scene in Hitchcock's later film Topaz takes place in the same store. Torn Curtain, released in 1966, marked Lydia Kristen's debut in the film industry. Directed by Sir Alfred Hitchcock, it was reportedly one of his unhappiest filmmaking experiences. Despite challenges, the movie obtained Italian censorship, Visa 4070 933 on 12 October 1966. Kristen's performance and Hitchcock's direction remain notable aspects of the film's legacy. In the 1966 movie, the final appearance of Nancy Kilgas happened. It was inspired by the true story of British diplomats Guy Burgess and Donald Maclean defecting to the Soviet Union in 1951. The director, fascinated by McClane's life, especially his wife Melinda Marling's decision to follow him, found inspiration for the film. The filmmaker, famous for his work in cinema, had a project called The Short Night in mind, which remained unfinished. It was supposed to be a spy thriller based on Ronald Kirkbride's book. The story revolved around a British double agent escaping from prison and heading to Moscow via Finland. The director wanted to create a more realistic spy movie, a theme he explored in earlier films. Various actors were considered for the lead roles. The journey of writing the script for the movie faced initial challenges between the director and the first writer assigned. Eventually, with the help of other writers, the script was completed. The circumstances leading to the director's retirement were revealed during a documentary about another movie he worked on. Despite efforts to convince him otherwise, the director decided to retire due to his declining health. In summary, the movie captures the essence of the director's career, drawing inspiration from real-world events. It explores the world of espionage, influenced by the director's fascination with defectors' lives. The process of writing the script and the challenges faced shed light on the director's dedication to his work. Universal Pictures had a preference for Henry Mancini to compose the score for the film. This preference led to pressure on Sir Alfred Hitchcock not to bring on board Bernard Herrmann for the task. In conversations with François Truffaut, Hitchcock disclosed that he assigned scenes featuring Gromek's brother to Truffaut. Truffaut, in turn, planned to review and then pass on these scenes to Henry Langlois for the cinematic franchise. However, these scenes have not been located and are generally considered lost. In a 1986 interview, Anthony Perkins revealed that Hitchcock intended to cast him as Professor Armstrong. However, the studio vehemently opposed this casting choice. These behind-the-scenes details offer insights into the decision-making dynamics and challenges faced during the production of the film. It sheds light on the dynamics between Hitchcock, the studio, and the various creative forces involved in shaping the movie. Torn Curtain, the movie from 1966, went through big changes to its script by Keith Waterhouse and Willis Hall. Sir Alfred Hitchcock, in his book, It's Only a Movie, talked about a different ending he liked, but didn't get to use because people worried about how it would affect the story's flow. Even though Hitchcock preferred his ending, the bosses at Universal Pictures wanted a different feel, which caused a disagreement between Hitchcock and the composer Bernard Herrmann. This led to Herrmann's music being taken out, and their working relationship ended there. Hitchcock felt let down by the situation, marking the end of their professional partnership. Alfred Hitchcock wanted Samantha Egger for the main role because he liked her acting skills. He also considered Zdenka Prochaskova for another part because she seemed elegant. But as the movie started being made, Hitchcock wasn't happy with how things were going. He didn't like some parts of the story and how the characters were developing. This made him feel unsure about where the movie was headed. So he did something unusual. He decided not to appear in the trailer, which surprised many people. This made them wonder how the movie would turn out. In the end, Torn Curtain became a topic of interest among Hitchcock fans who debated why he wasn't happy with it and how it would affect the final movie. Alfred Hitchcock's last film to feature a list stars, Torn Curtain, released in 1966, holds notable trivia. In a scene showcasing Sir Alfred Hitchcock's cameo, the music briefly changes to Funeral March of a Marionette by Charles Gounod, recognized as the main theme for Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Julie Andrews, in her 2019 memoir Homework, recalls feeling that once the script was finalized, Hitchcock seemed to consider actual filming an afterthought. Andrews and her co-star, Paul Newman, expressed dissatisfaction with the screenplay, to which Hitchcock responded, "Say anything you like," surprising them. Despite attempts to improve the dialogue, Andrews later reflected that they might not have done Hitchcock any favors. Torn Curtain, released in 1966, encountered several noteworthy incidents during its production. Bernard Herrmann composed 9 cues for the film before being dismissed by Sir Alfred Hitchcock. Only 3 of these cues, namely Prelude, The Ship, and Radiogram, have been officially released. Wolfgang Kieling, who portrayed Gromek, mentioned in his autobiography that Paul Newman advocated for the removal of Gromek's older brother scenes from the final cut. Herrmann also composed 2 cues for these scenes, titled Photos and Sausage. In a 1996 interview with Norman Lloyd and Steve Smith, Lloyd disclosed the pressure Hitchcock faced from Universal Pictures not to hire Herrmann due to his inability to produce a hit song. Despite this pressure, Hitchcock chose Herrmann, but was disappointed with the score, feeling it violated his instructions. This led to a rupture in their partnership, with Hitchcock perceiving Hermann's actions as a personal betrayal. Hitchcock walked off the stage upon hearing the score, never speaking to Hermann again. These events significantly impacted the film's production and subsequent reception. Torn Curtain marked the final film of Maya Van Horn. The movie utilized Universal Studios Stage 28, a historical set originally constructed for the Phantom of the Opera. Despite falling into disrepair, Universal granted Alfred Hitchcock permission to restore the set for Torn Curtain's climax. Hitchcock's crew, led by Joseph Musso, meticulously recreated the interior European three-tiered box seat horseshoe theater, relying on archived photos from the 1925 film. Production designer Hein Heckroth and art director Frank Arrigo spearheaded the restoration, with set designers like John W. Corso and Burwell Hamrick contributing to the effort. Mort Rabinowitz, who later became a production designer, also played a role in the film. Hitchcock initially desired Eva Marie Saint for the female lead, but the studio insisted on casting Dame Julie Andrews. Despite this, the film's production left a lasting legacy, with Hitchcock keeping Musso's illustration of the opera house as a personal memento. Torn Curtain, released in 1966, marked the final movie appearances of Karin Verne and Hermann Sturler. Sir Alfred Hitchcock, dissatisfied with Paul Newman and Dame Julie Andrews, shifted the plot's focus from the defecting scientist's wife to the American amateur spy. He concentrated on the colorful international supporting cast, with Lila Kedrova being Hitchcock's favorite among them. Hitchcock dined with her frequently during filming and even invited her to his home for dinners with his wife. Despite post-production edits shortening the film's length, Hitchcock preserved Countess Kuchinska's scenes. Bernard Herrmann's original score for the film has been recorded and is available for purchase. In the fall of 1964, Sir Alfred Hitchcock invited Vladimir Nabokov, the author of Lolita, to write the script for the movie. Nabokov declined, feeling unfamiliar with political thrillers. Tippi Hedren was considered for the role of Sarah Sherman. Hitchcock, despite his reservations about his leading actress, was always polite with Julie Andrews. Andrews commented that she didn't feel the part demanded much of her, except to look glamorous, which Hitchcock could arrange better than anyone. She mentioned having reservations about the film, but wasn't agonized by it. Andrews stated that the kick of it was working for Hitchcock, and that's what she got out of it. Jan Malmser, a Swedish actor, noticed several signs with incorrect Swedish while working on the film. He assisted the crew in correcting them. Torn Curtain proved to be one of Universal Pictures' highest-grossing movies in its year of release. Bernard Herrmann composed a cue titled Backdoor for a scene featuring Professor Armstrong unexpectedly encountering Gromek at the farm. However, this cue wasn't included in the recordings by Elmer Bernstein or Joel McNeely of Herrmann's score for the film. It remains uncertain if Herrmann composed the cues for the rest of the movie. Alfred Hitchcock's relationship with composer Bernard Herrmann hit a rough patch during the making of Marnie. Despite attempts to reconcile, Tippi Hedren's refusal to work with Hitchcock again led to Julie Andrews being cast in Torn Curtain. The cast boasted 3 Oscar winners, Paul Newman, Julie Andrews, and Lila Kedrova, alongside one nominee, Sir Alfred Hitchcock himself. Contrary to claims, Herrmann and his wife did visit Hitchcock together. This dynamic added layers of tension behind the scenes. Hitchcock's efforts to repair relationships with Hedren exemplified his desire for collaboration, albeit unsuccessful in this instance. The star-studded cast brought depth to the espionage thriller. Torn Curtain is a film directed by Sir Alfred Hitchcock. Hitchcock expressed dissatisfaction with Paul Newman's performance as Professor Armstrong, but praised Wolfgang Kieling's portrayal of Gromek. Newman, along with Hitchcock, wasn't pleased with the script, leading to Newman's detailed questions that irked Hitchcock during a meeting with Peter Bogdanovich. Despite this, Newman and Hitchcock maintained a professional relationship during filming. The shooting schedule spanned 3 months, with a 2-week break due to Newman's chin infection. Throughout production, Newman spoke highly of Hitchcock's work ethic. Sir Alfred Hitchcock directed the movie Torn Curtain, which was released in 1966. It marked his 50th film. Donald Spoto claimed that Hitchcock hid behind the door when composer Bernard Herrmann visited him after their falling out, but Herrmann's third wife denied this, stating they visited together. Hitchcock originally intended to cast Cary Grant, but Grant declined, citing age concerns, and retired the same year after completing his final film, Walk, Don't Run. Hitchcock's movie Torn Curtain is a notable entry in his extensive career. In 1966, a shocking and tragic fact surrounds a movie known as Torn Curtain. Despite being a classic by Hitchcock, the film faced significant challenges during production. The shocking trivia lies in the strained collaboration between Alfred Hitchcock and his lead actor, Paul Newman. Newman, famous for his talent, clashed with the director over creative differences, creating a tense atmosphere on set. This unexpected discord marred the behind-the-scenes dynamics and ultimately impacted the final product. Amidst this turmoil, the movie unfolds a gripping espionage plot. The narrative follows an American physicist and his girlfriend as they become entangled in Cold War espionage. The intense storyline is typical of Hitchcock's style, keeping audiences on the edge of their seats. Notably, the film takes a departure from Hitchcock's usual formula of a glamorous and invincible protagonist. Instead, it introduces vulnerability and a sense of realism as the lead character grapples with the harsh realities of espionage. This departure added depth to the film, providing a unique perspective within Hitchcock's repertoire. Torn Curtain also stands out for its meticulous attention to detail in capturing the political tensions of the time. The Cold War backdrop becomes a character itself, influencing the character's motivations and actions. Hitchcock's commitment to authenticity in portraying the geopolitical climate of the 1960s contributes to the movie's overall impact. In conclusion, the shocking and tragic behind-the-scenes conflict between Alfred Hitchcock and Paul Newman adds an unexpected layer to the movie's story. Despite the challenges, the film remains a noteworthy piece in Hitchcock's body of work, showcasing a departure from his usual narrative style. The unique blend of suspense, vulnerability, and geopolitical relevance makes Torn Curtain a compelling watch.